What's up, nerds? This is MaxThrust, back with our next mission, escaping the atmosphere. I'm talking over the video because I mistakenly left my mic off while I was recording this. I knocked out some grindy science around the KSC since our last video, and now we can go in here and start unlocking some of our goodies in the tech tree. As you can see, I got a pretty good amount of science, and I have the ground research contract pack, so it gives us a little cash, and it gives us kind of an objective to do. So we'll get these first couple nodes knocked out, and I was thinking about doing that one, but I really want to get the probe core and the extra science, because more science means we're going to get through the tree faster, which means we can do bigger missions. So I went ahead and went with the basic science to get that started. Now we're going to go into the VAB and set up our rocket to be flying to the wonderful reaches of the atmosphere. So basic ship build, I'm going to use all rocket motors instead of liquid fuel. It's cheaper, and for what we're trying to do, it's pretty easy. Again, in the comments, if you guys, I'm thinking down the road when these builds get bigger that we should probably either skip the build itself, or I can just fast forward through it without any commentary. So it's up to you. Leave a comment, let me know if you guys want to see the whole thing with commentary, or if you wouldn't mind me just doing, hey, we're gonna build this, and then I just do a quick time where it speeds through the build. One of the other things we got to do as well is determine what rockets we're going to start developing. And I think I might make another video of that. What I used here to get into the atmosphere, I think would be a great start to our rocket company. It's a two-stage. It's got the thumper at the base. As you can see here, I'm putting it together. But I'd like to use the mod that we have with the weighted top and kind of figure out what we can actually lift with that, and how far we can send something. Can we get stuff into orbit with it, and what's the payload size? So as I go through here, kind of tweak the thrust to weight ratios and everything. Put in the comments if that's a video you guys would want to see as well. Like, I don't know if that would be very interesting to you guys. It is to me. I do like to kind of mess with things and see what capabilities there are. Not just every time we have a rocket to build, we just create a brand new booster. I kind of want to do, like, not so much the Falcon 9 style, or not even that, but like ULA. We have like a booster that we use to do pretty much everything, and when we get to the point where we need something bigger, then we develop a new booster for it and test it and figure out what the payload capacity is for it, and then we use that from then on. So I'm figuring out right here how much science we can put on this. We had plenty of room with our part count, because this is a pretty low part count vessel. That's another thing that was nice about using the solid boosters, is you don't need a bunch of liquid fuel tanks. So the boosters themselves is 2 parts, and then you have what was that, 2 boosters and then 2 separators. So really easy on the part count budget, that's for sure. And as you can see now, we're only at 8,000 total. 8,142 for the cost of this rocket, and the majority of it's actually the capsule that we're going to get back. So it's a pretty cost-effective way to get into space. Now, obviously, these solid fuel boosters have their limits, and you can only do so much with them. So eventually we will get into liquid fuel, but as of right now, with what we have on the plate for missions, I think this is going to suit us just fine. Alright, well, let's get out to the pad and launch this baby. Ground control says we are go for launch, so let's get this off the ground. We're up. Very nice. So this bottom stage is mostly just going to be a vertical burn that we're using, just to get us up through the thicker atmosphere. We're not trying to get into orbit, so I'm not going to try to lean too much, probably maybe about 85 degrees at the most. And that's just to get us up through the thicker atmosphere. Everything's looking good so far. I don't see any issues. It's a pretty stable rocket. Really don't get too much interference with the atmosphere on it. The only thing you gotta be careful of is when you do decouple. That top part doesn't have any fins to it, so if you start leaning too far over with it, you can lose control of this second stage. But as you can see with the only 5-degree turn, wasn't a big deal. I did start to get a little too far over here, but it worked out just fine. Once you break that 20,000 meter, 25,000 meters, you're pretty much going to be okay, unless you have a really big heavy rocket that's going to catch a lot more the surface. So from here, we're just going to go ahead and start leaning it all the way over, build up our horizontal velocity, because I really don't want us to have a apoapse that's too high. I'm just looking at skipping into space, getting our science, completing the contract, and getting us back on the ground safely. So as this burns, what I'm doing right now is just trying to use up as much of the fuel in that rocket horizontally, so we don't get too far up into space. Not that it really matters, but I want to land over in the water, and I want my debris to fall down in the water, and I just don't want I don't want to spend a ton of time up in space, especially trying to keep these videos short. I do promise you guys, though, that my next video I will definitely make sure that my mic's on, because trying to talk over this, I am no Scott Manley or any of those guys, so trying to script this and record over watching the video is not my cup of tea. I'd rather just be doing it in real time, so I do apologize for that. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Our next mission I'm going to go for is an orbit. So I think the science that we got here should be enough for us to get the 909, and that way we'll be able to do the orbit mission. We could probably have done it this one, but I'd like to space it out a little bit. You know, baby steps. So here we're pretty much done. We got our science. We're heading back into the atmosphere. It's a very stable little vessel right here, so we can take SAS off and just burn our way back. I did set up the chutes to open at I believe it was 0.55 atmospheric pressure and at 800 meters from the ground, so we're not floating too long. At 0.55, you're looking at somewhere right around like 3,700 meters off the ground for deployment, which is more than enough for the deployment to slow us down and have a safe float back down to the surface. Leaves you about, with this capsule, leaves you about 250, 300 feet, or excuse me, meters off the surface. So it gets you down there pretty quick, so you're not watching the ground slowly come towards you. Doing our burning here. I'm going to speed things up a little bit at this point, so we're not watching this forever. And let's see, we're at 17,000 meters. We should be getting here relatively quickly. The other thing we'll need to remember to do is once we hit the surface, definitely need to collect some water surface samples, the temperature, the barometer, and the crew report and EVA report. We've used both goo containers, so we're not going to be able to get that, but we can get the other ones. So let's see, we're at 3, there it is right there, yeah, about 3,700 meters, 0.55, and you can see it's a safe drop there. Nice little sunset in the background. And 800 meters, our chute opens, and we got full deployment at about 275 meters off the ground. And just a way to speed things up a little bit. The only thing you gotta be careful with when you do that is if you're landing in mountains. If you start heading into the mountains, your ground comes up a lot faster than the water does. So you just gotta watch out for that. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna get the science here from the water, and then we'll go take a look at the crew log once we get back. And I think we're gonna unlock another science node and get ready for our orbital mission on the next episode. Please, if you're enjoying this, please give me a like and subscribe. Hit the little bell, and that way you will be up to date when I release new videos. And again, I've got about 2,000 hours, a little plus on this game. If there's anything you guys want to see, I can create a tutorial if it seems like something that would be pertinent or helpful. Or if you just want some questions answered, I'd be happy to do that as well. Just leave a comment below. And we'll take a look here at our mission log. Everything looks good. Got our medals. And we will go unlock a node. That's it for today, guys. This is MaxThrust. I'm out.